I'm arresting a good Samaritan because I helped the guy get his bike up, and I'm stopping them from tackling an old woman because I told them to sit down and get in the car. These officers thought they could get away with anything, but they were wrong. In June 2020, workers at a nearby Walmart called the Loveland police on Karen Garner, accusing her of shoplifting. That's not quite what happened, though. The 73-year-old woman left the store without paying for $14 worth of items. When she asked Walmart employees to let her pay, they refused and took the items. By the time Officer Austin Hopp caught up with her, she was picking flowers on the side of a nearby road when she tried to leave. Hopp jumped into action and tackled the older woman. "You want to stoplights on siren." A bystander saw a police officer violently arrest a suspect and told the officer that he was using excessive force. The officer tried to shoot the bystander away, but he stayed there waiting for his sergeant. The sergeant arrived and told the bystander that he could file a report about the incident. The officer then explained that he had to use force to detain the suspect because she refused to stop and listen to his commands. The bystander said that he understood why the officer had to use force, but he was still concerned about the way the suspect was treated. A 73-year-old woman with dementia was walking down the street when she was approached by 3 police officers. The officers accused her of shoplifting and attempted to arrest her. The woman resisted arrest, and the officers used force to subdue her. The woman was injured during the arrest and later found to have a dislocated shoulder, a broken arm, and a sprained wrist. Body camera footage of the arrest went viral and caused public outrage. The family of Eric Garner sued the police department and won $3 million. The 3 officers involved in the arrest all quit, but if they thought that was the end of the story, they were in for more. Hopp was charged with assault causing serious bodily injury, attempt to influence a public servant, and official misconduct, and given a 5-year prison sentence. His partner Jalali was charged with failure to report the use of force, failure to intervene, and official misconduct. Was given 45 days in prison and 3 years of probation. They'll have enough time to explain why they thought it was a good idea to hit an old, weak woman. Speaking of bad ideas, have you heard of the crazy cop who tried to put a woman in a mental hospital because she broke up with him? But first, Christopher Police. This is one officer who screams hostile work environment. On November 19, 2019, a 911 call came in from a convenience store. A police officer in Sunrise, Florida, was arrested and charged with 4 counts, including tampering with evidence and assault on a peace officer, after he yelled at a suspect and waved a pepper spray canister in his face. The officer also told the suspect that he would remove his soul from his body if he ever disrespected his officers. A junior female officer nearby stepped in to help when the sergeant called for help, but he told her, "Don't touch me again, get off." The officer stormed off, only to come back a few minutes later and say, "Everyone turn off your cameras." Unfortunately for the police, it wasn't easy to get him off the hook. He was arrested and charged with 4 counts, including tampering with evidence and assault on a peace officer. If found guilty, he'll spend 11 years in prison. It's crazy how many police officers think they can get away with anything when they have a badge. Davis even tried to get his ex-girlfriend into a mental hospital. Third, on August 21, 2023, Ronald Davis, an off-duty Pennsylvania state trooper, chased Michelle Peroff through the Pennsylvania woods. When he caught up to her, he restrained her by sitting on her legs for about 10 minutes. I'm not going to go into detail about this. After pleading with him but not getting anywhere, Benab tried to get free from his grip. "Hey, I didn't do anything wrong except disagree with you. Let me go. You can't just back with me like that." "Get off of me," she said. But Davis grabbed her by the neck and pushed her against a car. "Stand up, I do long." When the police finally arrived, Davis told them she wanted to kill herself, so she was taken to a mental health clinic. 5 days later, she was released and found to be mentally sound, which means she had made it all up. That's because Davis had lied about Peroff being someone else. She was the ex-girlfriend the married trooper had been seeing for months. When Peroff broke up with Davis, Davis didn't take it well, so he used his position to. The video shows that getting her to sign a 302 agreement against her will is not appropriate. After being suspended and arrested, Davis was charged with unlawful restraint, false imprisonment, and official oppression, and has been held without bail. If Davis is found guilty, he will spend 12 years in prison. Losing your job because you can't handle rejection is crazy, but it's not as crazy as when this happened. Officer tried to frame his daughter's 4th boyfriend, John Kovac, on April 18, 2018. John Kovac told internal investigators that he pulled over Mackay Coleman's car because it almost hit his patrol car while going too fast. But the officer's dashcam showed a different story. For one thing, the car was going at a normal speed when it was pulled over, and Kovac immediately told Coleman, who was driving, to get out of the car. Coleman was pulled over by CAC for a traffic stop. CAC was trying to break up his 18-year-old daughter's relationship with a boy he didn't like and used the traffic stop as an opportunity to confront the daughter and her boyfriend. He made threats to the mother of one of the teens in the car and demanded to know if his daughter was in her home. When the woman refused to let him in, he threatened her with arrest. He then let the teen go, which is when he realized his daughter had been in the car the whole time. He told her to get out of the car and let her boyfriend go get it. He then drove off with his daughter, who screamed and cried that she was going to the hospital because she said she was going to kill herself. He was fired from the police department for a good 4 hours after this happened. It may sound extreme, but Kovac wasn't the only officer who used his job to get what he wanted. Wait until you hear about the officer who arrested a Good Samaritan, number 5, Paul Ash. On September 22, 2019, Preston Saul and his girlfriend saw a man stuck under his bike and stopped to help. Saul was waiting to see how the man was doing when Officer Paul Ash of the police arrived and asked Preston where the bike was. They told him that they had pulled it over and that he was free to leave. Preston refused to answer any questions and did not show his ID. The police called for help. Back up and began making threats. "I got an under a witness," he said. "Come on over here right now. I need to talk to you." "I don't want to talk to you." "You have to talk." "I want to talk to you." "Do okay with yourself. I came down here to help them. I don't have to talk to anyone. This is when to go to talk to anyone. Either you'll sit here and talk to me for a short time, or I'll go to talk to someone else." "Arrest you for obstruction." "No, you're not. I'm not blocking anything. I'm right here. I'm not blocking anything." When Saul still wouldn't play ball, Ash arrested him. "Take this." "Sure. I'm already right here." "Turn around. You're wrong. My constitutional rights. I don't have to talk to you." Amidst protests, Saul was dragged behind a police car and yelled, "There's no reason for this. There's no reason for this. Get my phone, Sherry. This is up and videotaped." Saul was protesting when he was detained by police. He is upset about being detained and asked Sherry to get his phone so he can record the incident. The man was helping the injured man by lifting his bike. The officer knew that the man was not a witness to the accident and arrested him for obstructing justice and tampering with physical evidence. The charges were later dropped, but the man had to have surgery to replace his shoulder. After the incident, he sued the police officers involved in the takedown and was awarded $290,000.